It's time for another Dice Tower review with the Chief, Bart Brunsheen.
Hi, this is the Chief, coming to you from the Dice Tower, and today we're going to talk about a little game from Reiner Knizia called Penguin. Mostly a kid's game. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. All right, we're in a stadium view of Penguin here, and you may notice something different. This little card here, the light card stock, is actually not part of the game, or it doesn't ship with the game normally. This is an add-on that I got off of BGG from the file section, and it works great. Just to give you an idea, you've got these player screens, hide exactly what individual penguins you have. It's set up as if we were playing a five-person game where everybody has 7 penguins. And the way the game is supposed to go is more displayed over here, and I'll show you. It's real fiddly. These little guys will stack on top of each other. And the way it works, which will be the same down here on this, and you can see, well, clearly you wouldn't be holding the thing up in the air, but the way it works is if there's 2 guys together like this, let me just use this, I'll show you. If you play down onto this deal, imagine they were stacked. You could come along and play an extra piece or an extra penguin down here, or you can start to climb up the pyramid. So if I had this guy, I could either do a yellow or green in here. It's as if they're parents, and when they're having babies, they've got to have one that matches. So I wouldn't be able to put a red one here, but I could put a yellow or a green, and that would be legitimate. And all you're trying to do is get rid of all your penguins, because any penguins you have left that you're not able to get onto the board, or if you're playing with the traditional game, if you're not able to get into the stacked pyramid, you're going to end up taking a penalty token. So if I was left with 1 at the end of the game, I'd get 1 penalty token. And you play a series of rounds. It's supposed to be based on the number of people that are playing the game. To kind of give you a better idea of what this looks like, if you played just stacking with not the board, you end up with this little stacked pyramid like this. There's also some penalties that if you knock a penguin over, or if you knock this stack down while you're trying to do it, you get a penalty. I didn't like that. It made it fiddly for me, and it made it less fun for the kids when I played with them. I like this. They can just get into the concept of putting their penguins down and following kind of the pecking order, so to speak, as they climb up, and try to actually realize the strategy of, if you don't get enough of your colored penguins on there, your line could actually die out, and you won't be able to get, say, a blue penguin out of your stack, and you're going to end up getting stuck with a bunch of penalty points. So to show you how play would go, of course, these would be secret. You wouldn't know exactly who had what. But let's say this player wanted to get rid of a few of their red penguins, so they'd lay in a red one. This one definitely would want to make sure that he doesn't get stuck, or she doesn't want to get stuck with all these blue ones, so they might get this down here. And red may realize, well, maybe he has a bunch of blues, but I'd like to get rid of some of my blues, and they could play up here. All right, and then the next player would come in, and he might sit there and say, well, I want to get another blue in here because I don't want to get stuck with all my blues. This will progress, and I'll kind of just jump us along. All right, so again, assuming this is a 5-person game, I know I only had 2 out, and I've added a 3rd one here. But to kind of show you what had happened, if this gameplay had gone on, you can see where blue ended up getting locked out, and his guys got buried, and now there is no chance for blue to come out because there's no possible parenting. Yellow is the only one that could come into this space because there's 2 yellows, so this area is actually going to be dead. If it came around to red's turn, red could sit there and play in his piece here. It would go to blue. Blue cannot take an action. He's actually going to be done and will be skipped. It would come back over to this player here. He can't do his blue, but he can do his green, and he can come in right up here, and I would be done. Blue can't put any more out, or this player can't put any blue out, and then this player stuck with his blue. The game would be over. The pyramid doesn't necessarily have to get filled, because if you're played properly, you've blocked something off. So the game would come out. This individual would get 2 tokens, 2 penalty tokens, and this player would get 1. And you would go in and play your next round. Play 5 rounds with a 5-person game. Person with the least amount of penalty tokens wins. Again, you can see how this card, at least for me, It makes it much less fiddly. It still looks very appealing. Kids like it, and you can focus more on the gameplay. Yeah, I know it's not a real deep game, but for the age that you're playing with, this gets it done, minus the whole stacking thing, which to me was just a train wreck when we did it. I would not even be playing this game still with the boys if I didn't print out this card. All right, the thing I like about the game is it's very accessible to the smaller kids. I don't like the stacking portion, as you've kind of already seen. It's a little fiddly. Definitely go print out the little page in the file section on BGG. It's much more fun to play it in that format, at least for me. And it removes the whole little fiddly stacking thing. And with that little add-on in the box, I'll play this with Bo or any other of my kids or little kids anytime they want. So if you like that, go ahead and go on out, pick you up some Penguin. Fun little game. See ya. Bye.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.